sorting, and minimizing handling. The more you handle it, the less profit you've got at the end of the day. You've got to be fast and you've got to be efficient. The salvage, as you see back here, and this is basically an overlay of the store that Mark just got done talking about, Surprise, Arizona. And back to 2 or 3 earlier presentations, location, location, location. This one store was buried in a corner of a strip center and nobody could find it. And then we moved it to a building 3 times the size, but as you turn off of Bell Road, the street goes right into the store. And it literally, is doing 250, 300% sales increases every day. And so, thank God. Anyway, let's go back to the first slide here. So minimize handling, speed of processing, sorting, and sorting, and on the next slide you saw where I had some salvage and stuff, they're going through that as they sort, whether it's going to the floor or back to Paul's yellow shirt with a big stain on the pocket. That one's going into the salvage Gaylord, so when we come through and sweep the store, it goes back to the campus, the main campus at Watkins, and where we bail it. Color code rotation, and I know there's probably, I think, a presentation later on that, which is critical. Pricing, store level processing, of course, that's me, central location processing, and Q&A. All right, the next slide is exactly the salvage part, shoes, linens, clothing. We keep everything separate. They're ticketing, and I'm so grateful to Mark and the help of the committee. We just recently partnered with ThriftWorks, where we got up to 2018 ticketing. We have things called a thermal printer and everything, and there's colored tickets, and I think the best testimony to it was a volunteer in Surprise. Gene is probably about 78, 80 years old. Mark came for a visit with David Berringer, and we got it set up in Surprise, because before all we were doing was ticketing with the old Mark's Lot, 1950, it's $1, and put it on there. And you know how long it takes, right? It takes forever. And here's Jean just saying, oh my gosh, Mark, come over here. David, come over. She was so excited because it just sped up the processing. And I want you to think about this, because I'm an old food dude that used to work with Mark 25 years ago at Walmart on the food side. Thrift store donations, particularly clothing, are exactly like bananas. Think about it. Do you like the banana on the first day? Yeah. Look at that banana in about 2 or 3 weeks and tell me what you think. The quicker you get the banana out of the back room and on the sales floor and out that front door is the process. Go ahead.
Wait, can you describe those tables? Those are bins?
Well, these squares really represent Gaylords over here, and these are just, this is clothing, that's shoes, that's linens. Clothing right now, we're getting about anywhere from 19 to 25 cents a pound when we bale it. I'm getting about 45 cents a pound on shoes. Haven't got enough linens, because we're just getting inundated with clothing. We'll get there. We're sorting it, and then basically this is the Z racks that they talked about, where they're sorting it, and they'll have a whole rack of shirts, then they'll go over to ticking and spit out 30 tickets and do it right there, and you wheel it right out. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Okay.
What's the bottom side, sir?
Yes? What's that?
The bottom side?
Hard lines and tagging.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, kind of bric-a-brac and all that type of stuff. And here's the one thing that I found out, and I shared with Mark yesterday, and we kind of giggled about it. When we did the old-fashioned just Jethro Bodine pricing it, $1, $2 on the ticket, When it got to the register, they just hit, accessories, boom, accessories, boom, okay? They didn't take the time. Now with this thermal scanner and ticketing it back here in this, so if it's sporting goods, it's getting a sporting goods ticket. If it's housewares, it's getting a housewares ticket. So then when it gets to the register, guess what? The cashier doesn't have to think about it, they just scan it because it's scannable. So now all of a sudden, I had a store manager said, I never realized I sold this much sporting goods. It was very interesting that the data, it's just, data is power, knowledge is power, so it's very interesting.
I'm going to jump in
Yeah.
because not for this meeting, to put in the scanners and to put the thermal in, it wasn't really that expensive. But to get like the register, like Secure Retail came in here, you can't believe if you do this investment, you do a little more over a year or so as you can afford it, you can't believe all the information you get. Chris, it gets you all that stuff you were spitting off, and that's what I was asking you how you were doing that. Really, the register system, Scott, that I copied what you had, which was his system, it tells you everything, and it helps you manage the store and keep it rotated like Dave was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you move there, what's the difference between tagging and ticketing?
They're spitting out from the labeler. They're going to a computer screen over here and going 30 tickets at $1 for a shirt or whatever, and it spits it out. And they'll walk over here, and this isn't perfect by any means, there's a stretch of imagination. But then they come over here and they actually tag the clothing and then take it out. So there's a difference between tagging and ticketing.
In every single store will probably be a little different based
Amen.
on the layout, the space, and what it is. This just is something to tell you, and again, if you look at this on the website, you're interested, get a hold of us, we'll find the right size store and the right person, and you either go there or they'll come there and we'll help you get the detail you want to this, okay?
And back to Mark's point here, this is the way Surprise is set up. I mean, if you had a magic wand, you would probably run a power pole right down here and put the ticketing here, right? But that's the way we're set up, so. Yes, ma'am.
So I mean, all 30 shirts would have to be $1.
That's just what we're doing, but I've already sent an email after, what was it, 2 presentations ago that we're too long on clothing, so I jumped it up. What's that?
The price is different, or like, because somebody has to type that in.
Yeah.
And put the 30 shirts that are $1, but if you were to do $2 shirts, then they would enter the information and print those tickets.
It's a very user-friendly program that you can put $2, $3, $5, $6, and then you just put the quantity in the department and it spits it out.
Diane, jump in and tell them how I saw yours, how they do tickets, good, better, best, or whatever.
Yeah, well,
And just,
actually, well, no, this is, we do, in Madison, we do good, better, best. So, and it's just that grade, okay? So men's shirt, good, better, best. And it spits out the price. It's not as fast as just item pricing. It's not as fast as all shirts are $1, but it does give you some variables in your selection of merchandise. Actually, I think it relieves the pricer of a lot of decisions because you're just saying good, better, best. You're not saying $2.99, $3.99. I mean, there's none of that debate. It's good, better, best.
So the machine makes that.
The pricer says good, better, best. Just punches, and then the machine. And we don't have-
She's good, better, best. I'm single price.
And then it spits it out based on the price points that we put in there. Okay, so you're not thinking, is this $10.99? So what's cool about this is that it actually it maximizes your donation value, right? So a Rag and Bones pair of jeans is not the same price as a Walmart pair of jeans. Okay, and it's a little more objective. One thing if you are doing good, better, best, if you're setting up price points like that, see how our price points are so odd? And I didn't think of this, Ralph did. It's brilliant. It's brilliant because when you want to mark up, nobody's got that memorized. Nobody knows that all men's shirts are $249. They just don't know. But if it goes from $236 to $274, you still don't know. So if you're going in this direction, these odd price points are amazing. So anyway.
Okay,
We go back.
I think we're going back.
Yeah.
I'm confused. All right, so color code rotation, and I know that's a presentation.
Skip
Yes,
over
sir.
that for the sake of time, because we've
Okay.
got a whole presentation on that, so you
Sure,
can skip
go
that.
ahead then.
All right.
Thank you. All right, we covered this. The advantages are speed of processing, eliminates guessing, and price consistency, easy to teach staff. And then good, better, best, and Diane's just explained that. Okay?
I'll just reiterate the thing about low and high price points. That's so true. That is so true. People are not shopping us because we're the lowest. And twice a year, we do a little competition shop, just to make sure we're not the lowest or the highest. And it really gives you a good idea of what the market can bear as well. So do not be afraid of pricing your items appropriately or raising prices. So, okay.
Just so you know, Goodwill has gone to good, better, best.
Yeah, I know they have. Copied us.
I copied you and then they copied
Okay,
me.
so this is just the
Copy.
basic steps of the donation received at the door, separating clothes, shoes, accessories, just the different departments. And then sort good to bad, bad goes to Gaylord, bail, good goes to the hanging station, yada, yada, yada. Okay, go to the next one. Housewares, electronics, same thing. I'll try to speed this up, Mark. Another thing on the books. I will tell you that we did try to scan books, kind of like what Thrift Books does out there. And what we found is it took so long, it was so labor intense, it was better to partner with Thrift Books for the ROI on it. Go ahead. Store level processing, this is my perception, and I'm sure some folks have some other things, but processing associates at stores can also do other tasks versus just processing donations at a central location. Minimizes trucking costs, minimizes handling costs. When I took over in Phoenix, they had a trucking department with all the trucks there in central Phoenix, and then they would all drive out to stores where instead of just parking them in the parking lot. So we were doing all the miles there and all the miles back. It's crazy. You talk about gas and all that. And then just lost window time, so we're making more pickups. The disadvantages is inconsistent pricing, inconsistent quality control. Everybody's got a different opinion. Here's the one thing, though, I would tell you real quickly when Mark started helping me. One of the biggest errors that I made when I first started doing this was I had no Walmart in me, you know, low price, low price, low price. I was fully educated on all this other concept. So sometimes our store managers in Phoenix would panic and they would just do 50% off sale. My sales are off from last year, I gotta get aggressive. I'm gonna have a 50% off sale, Mark. Well, guess what would happen? They'd do a 50% off sale, but only the new stuff would sell. And the old stuff got older or darker like the banana. So pretty soon after 4 or 5 weeks, all I had was that constipated stuff that Paul was talking about earlier. It's a disaster to do that. So as soon as we went to the color code rotation and just 1 week of a certain color being 50% off, guess what happened to sales? Right up, it jumped right up. I would probably guess 5% just by that action. Is the next one yours? Here we go, Diane, I'm off the hook.
All right.
Just on, how many people centralize processing here?
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. We have chosen to do centralized processing, and Madison's its own market. We're a very concise little place, so it works for us. One thing that I just wanted to let everybody know about is the drive-throughs. When we purchased one of our new locations, it had a drive-through because it was a car dealership, and it's amazing how quickly the donations increased. So now 5 of our 7 stores have these drive-through, and the donors really respond to it. There's an element of we're taking care of your stuff kind of thing, and we do an initial pre-sort at that point before we ship it to the warehouse. So sort of like what Dave was saying, you can do some pre-sorting as you're collecting the donations. We have a big, huge warehouse, okay? So stuff is sorted, this is our clothing, literally, we have a line, a belt that goes down. People pull things from the belt, we have hangers that check, it goes to the pricer, and then it's tagged. So you can see the strip of tags. So it's a big process, and these items are touched quite a bit. Our quality is really high. Our quality is really high because you have a couple of pairs of eyes. And again, this works for us. Miscellaneous, same kind of thing. We'll have donations, pre-sorter, we do trash, we have a pound store, seasonal, saleable, all that kind of stuff. And they put it into these racks, gravity racking, and then it goes to the miscellaneous pricer, who just puts it in cubbies for the packer. Okay, so I mean, this can be accomplished in a store location as well. Okay, just those cubbies are pretty cool. You need a lot of stuff to centralize, right? So we have a lot of these fabulous tools. We have the pricing system, we have hanging racks, we have lots of Z-racks, we have balers, all kinds of stuff. The good thing about centralized processing, it's in one place. You're not duplicating efforts. Advantages is we have standardized price points. There's some development of people. We have book experts and clothing experts and things like that. We can redistribute the product appropriately. So some stores are donation stores, some stores sell better, so we can kind of shift the donations around a little bit. All of the large equipment's in one place. Processing the warehouse space is generally speaking less costly than retail space. So our stores are maximized for retail space because all of our processing is going on somewhere else at a lesser expense. And we do have some storage. Disadvantage, trucking. We have a trucking fleet, we have a semi-driver, but again, Madison's really special. It's been described as 30 square miles surrounded by reality. Okay, so it's a special little place. The product flow becomes dependent on your truck schedule. So not everybody can get their truck at 7 a.m. every morning. And we also become, as with the processing, people become very, very dependent on store feedback. Because if you price something, put it out on your floor, you see if it sells or doesn't sell. We depend on the store feedback for all of that. So it works for us, and there's elements, hopefully there's elements of this that you could take back that will help in your stores as well. Oh, and he left. Mike left, okay.
But do you make money? Are you happy with your?
Oh, yeah.